Marco Polo, the famous Venetian traveler, raved in his book about the exotic beauty of Yunnan, the magic land beyond the clouds. Poets praise Yunnan as Shangri, the imaginary, remote, idyllic hideaway where life approaches perfection. Even today, Yunnan remains an enigma to many. The cultural diversity of its minorities, which have survived almost untouched and unspoiled for thousands of years, is fascinating. Situated at the threshold of Southeast Asia, bordering Burma, now known as Myanmar, Laos, and Vietnam, Yunnan is about the size of California with a population of over 45 million. Mountains comprise a significant part of the landscape, with snow-capped ranges in the northwest being the highest. The Meili Snow Mountain stands at 6,740 meters. The many natural wonders of Yunnan are spread all over the province. They create Yunnan's charm and its unique mystique. The northern half of Yunnan has the flora and fauna of a temperate climate zone, with clearly marked seasons that celebrate spring flowers and bright autumn colors. In the southern part of the province, tropical rainforests dominate. Rubber plantations prosper and exotic fruits grow in abundance. The lotus is the symbol of purity and perfection. The lotus blossom rises from the mud, but it is not tainted by it. As such, it symbolizes the Buddha, who remains pure in the world. Its seeds and roots are also enjoyed as a delicacy in various dishes of the Chinese cuisine. In Yunnan, there are many rivers. Most of them are tributaries of such major rivers as the Yangtze, also known as the River of Golden Sand, which flows across China into the East China Sea near Shanghai. Along one of its tributaries, the ancient Bo people, who vanished centuries ago, left a mysterious legacy, with coffins of their dead hanging high up on the cliffs above the raging waters. Legend has it that the Bo wanted their dead to be closer to heaven. The Tiger Leaping Gorge is the deepest gorge in the world. Its narrowest section is only 20 meters wide, with vertical cliffs rising up to 3,000 meters to snow-covered mountain ranges. The Pearl River starts in this small cave, passing Guangzhou, also known as Canton, creating the vast Pearl River Delta and eventually flowing past Hong Kong into the South China Sea. The Red River streams into the South China Sea at Hanoi in Vietnam. Salween crosses Burma and flows near Rangoon into the Bay of Bengal. The Lisu people, living on its shores, are fearless warriors and have controlled these rugged waters forever. Most people assume that the Grand Canyon in Nevada is the longest canyon in the world. They are not aware of the fact that the new Zhang Grand Canyon of the Salween is over 300 kilometers long. The mighty Mekong carves its way through Yunnan before crossing into Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and finally flowing in Vietnam at Ho Chi Minh City, formerly Saigon, into the South China Sea. Yunnan features a wide variety of rare wildlife, endangered species such as multitudes of butterflies. Black bears feasting on fresh rhododendron blossoms. Black-necked cranes. The Yunnan golden monkeys. Peacocks. Tigers. Wild elephants, which are under state protection, have become quite a nuisance for the local farmers, destroying fields and crops. They stop traffic, leave a trail of destruction, wander into villages, and curiously inspect the laundry. Many lakes are scattered over Yunnan. Their waters are crystal clear and tranquil. On their shores nestle the wooden villages of many minorities who have lived in harmony with nature forever. Lugo Lake is at an elevation of 2,585 meters. Around the lake lives the Mosu tribe. The Mosu people are always in love but never get married. They live in a matriarchal society and enjoy the tradition of the walking marriage. Once a young man or woman is affirmed as grown up through a special ritual, they are free to have so-called axia relationships. A Mosu woman never closes the door to her lovers. Sexual relationships take place with visiting men in the bedrooms of the women, known as flower rooms. The next morning, the man returns to his mother's house. Lovers never get married to form a family, even though they may love each other their entire lives and have many children. Children live with their mothers for their entire lives. There are no patriarchal family members, only matriarchal ones, such as maternal grandmothers, mothers, and mother's sisters. All family members are descendants of the same matriarchal lineage. Scholars have come to the conclusion that the enchanting Mosu matriarchal culture has, to a certain extent, solved major problems troubling today's modern society, such as the social positions of both sexes, sexual harassment, deterioration of relationships, family feuds, the maltreatment and loneliness suffered by old people, and last but not least, the harmony between mankind and nature. Yunnan is home to 26 recognized minority nationalities. Their lifestyles and local ecosystems vary almost as much as their colorful ethnic costumes. Altogether, minorities form 1/3 of Yunnan's population and occupy 2/3 of the land. The minorities live in so remote and inaccessible mountainous areas that they have retained their cultural identity over thousands of years. Access to most of the villages is extremely difficult. Over rugged terrain, horse caravans struggle along the ancient silk and tea roads. For centuries, the horses have polished the stones of these ancient trails and left their hoof prints forever. During the harsh winter months, most of the villages are entirely cut off from the outside world. Few bridges span the many rivers. Locals glide on cables across the raging waters. The invisible borders between China, Vietnam, Laos, and Myanmar, formerly Burma, divide many villages. Sometimes the border runs straight through the kitchen or the bedroom of the farmers. They may have breakfast in Vietnam and find their good night's rest in China. The villagers cross freely from one country into the other while doing their daily chores. The conflicts of the outside world are far away and do not bother them. There is a wide variety of architecture in Yunnan. Aside from the majestic white dagobas, golden Buddhist temples, Tibetan lamaseries, and Islamic mosques, every minority has its own architectural style, from stone-built to palm-thatched dwellings. Some of them even live in caves. Such as this one, which is home to 59 families with a total of about 300 people who have settled here in peace and harmony for centuries, raising cattle and living off the rich, fertile lands which surround the cave. Fleeing wartime turmoil and famine, their ancestors found shelter in this hidden cave where deep wells provide fresh water. The kids help harvest the corn and gather firewood. An old woman is the local ghost buster. Once a year, on a special day of the lunar cycle, she drives out evil spirits who may have sneaked their way into this happy village. Once in a while, a wandering cinema company ventures into this detached and peaceful world and, powered by a generator, entertains the villagers, offering them a passing glance of the so very distant, turbulent outside world. Lijiang was settled about 800 years ago. The snow-capped Yulong, also called Jade Dragon Mountain, towers majestically over the ancient town. With their strong sense for harmony of man and nature, the Naxi people of Lijiang built a very special town, leaving behind a United Nations World Cultural Heritage Site for later generations to marvel at in awe. The houses are made of stone and wood. A typical house has 2 stories. A row of 3 main rooms on the ground floor faces south and is flanked on each side by a row of 3 rooms at a right angle opening inward to a courtyard, hidden from public view. Clear streams flow along the streets of Lijiang. The houses are built according to the flow of the water and the ancient wisdom of feng shui. The Chinese yin and yang and the original principles of feng shui, literally translated as wind and water, date back thousands of years. Feng shui masters study the magnetic fields of the earth to determine their impact on the location of a building. Feng shui is similar to modern site planning of a future new home or office and the placing of the furniture therein. Air, light, the angle of the sun and noise levels all must be taken into consideration. Feng shui involves the 5 Taoist elements of gold, wood, water, fire, and earth, plus the Chinese zodiac or horoscope signs. Feng shui is explained in Taoist, Buddhist, and Confucian terms, which are the 3 major belief systems in China. Old Chinese proverbs and colloquial phrases are used to help one understand a feng shui master's readings. A house with good feng shui will bring luck to its inhabitants. Feng shui is not set in stone. When the environment changes, such as if a power line is placed in front of a home, or a tree is cut down, or a bridge or overpass is built, or a river runs dry, the existing feng shui will change. An amazing feature of Lijiang is the Dongba culture, based on Dongbaism, the ancient nature worship of the Naxi people. The Dongba art of writing has been handed down through generations since time immemorial. It is the world's only living language using pictographic script. The ancestors of the Naxi people used the picture-like characters to compile the Dongba scriptures, also known as the Encyclopedia of the Naxi nation. The Dongba scriptures comprise more than 20,000 volumes recording the history and culture of the Naxi people. In Lijiang, as everywhere else in Yunnan, there are many temples, mosques, and churches representing the peaceful coexistence of Buddhism, Taoism, Islam, Christianity, and Confucianism. Devoted rituals and mystic teachings are practiced in century-old temples on mountaintops high above the clouds or hidden away in lush green valleys. Taoism is the only religion that has exclusive Chinese roots. It is based on ancient witchcraft and formulas of immortality. Taoists regard Lao Tzu as the founder and supreme god of Taoism. Their basic principles are: be benevolent. Being benevolent means assuming an amiable attitude toward everything in the universe and maintaining universal harmony. Be pure. Being pure means getting rid of extravagant hopes and being plain in mind and body. Do not act in advance of other people. Not daring to act in advance of other people means being modest and holding the self in check instead of assuming an attitude of strength and dominance. The word Tao means the way. It is the way the universe functions, the path taken by all natural events. Tao is nature's way expressed in effortless action. Taoists use the image of water to illustrate such effortless action. Water always settles at the lowest level and yet can wear away even the hardest of substances. According to Taoism, the cosmos is a magnitude of harmony and order. It is active, not static. Its state is one of change and variation, perpetually becoming and fading away, contracting and expanding. Buddhism originated in India, where Siddhartha Gautama found enlightenment under a bo tree. The Four Noble Truths preached by Gautama Buddha are: sorrow is the universal experience of mankind, and everyone is subjected to the trauma of birth, sickness, decrepitude, and death. The cause of sorrow is desire, especially the desire of the body and the desire of personal fulfillment, and the cycle of birth is perpetuated by the desire for existence. The removal of sorrow can only come from the removal of desire. That is to say, happiness can only be achieved if these desires are overcome. Desire can be systematically abandoned if one follows the Noble Eightfold Path, which consists of 8 tenets, which are the right knowledge, right aspiration, right behavior, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right absorption. By following the Noble Eightfold Path, the Buddhist aims to attain nirvana, a condition beyond the limits of the mind, thoughts, feelings, desire, and will, a state of bliss and ecstasy. There are 2 types of Buddhism in China: Mahayana and Hinayana Buddhism. Mahayana Buddhism emphasizes the existence of many Buddhas. It focuses attention on Buddhas in heaven and on people who will become Buddhas in the future. It believes that these present and future Buddhas can save people through compassion and grace. Hinayana Buddhism emphasizes the importance of Buddha as a historical figure and the virtues of monastic life. Boys are initiated to serve for a while as monks in order to enter manhood. The whole village celebrates such an initiation. Islam was officially introduced to China in 651 AD by Arabian envoys and traders during the Tang dynasty. Throughout the Tang and Song dynasties, many Arab and Persian merchants of Islamic faith came overland to northern China by way of the famous Silk Road and to southern China through its many ports. Christianity gained a foothold in China during the 16th century when the Ming Emperor allowed Jesuit priests to build churches and to spread the gospel. A 100 years ago, a wandering monk brought Christianity to this remote village, and ever since, the villagers have faithfully followed his teachings. The people of Yunnan follow the principles of the great Chinese philosopher Confucius. Do not do to others what you do not want them to do to you. Confucianism is a major system of thought in China, developed from the teachings of Confucius. Confucianism has always fitted naturally into the ancient Chinese pattern of close family ties and absolute rule in which the father governs like an emperor and the emperor is supposed to take care of his subjects like a father. Confucianism has never existed as an established religion. Chinese honor Confucius as a great teacher and sage, but do not worship him as a personal god. Nor did Confucius himself ever claim divinity. With over 4 million people, the Yi are Yunnan's biggest minority. They have a great variety of colorful clothing. Four 4,000 years ahead of the Mayan culture in Central America, the Yi developed a solar calendar. The Yi meticulously studied the winter and summer solstices and calculated the changing of the Big Dipper. During the Torchlight Festival, the Yi make torches from pine twigs and hemp stalks. Then they race over their fields and through orchards, holding high the flaming torches and letting off firecrackers in an attempt to drive away pests and eliminate vermin, as well as evoking a bumper harvest and assure the harmony of the farmers and their livestock. They also sprinkle fragrant powder on their torches. This causes sparks to fly in all directions. Every person is honored with 3 sprinkles of sparks. Looking like fire dragons, long torch processions weave through the night. Elsewhere, torch trees, which have been erected on mountaintops, laden with fruits, are lit up by the elders for good luck, while the young dance around the trees all night long. One of their celebrations features exciting bullfights. Another Yi custom is the tiger dance, which honors the tiger god and brings good luck to the people and guarantees a bumper harvest. The Stone Forest is a unique, mysterious, and magnificent limestone formation with peaks rising breathtakingly and stalagmites crowding together like sharp swords piercing the clouds. The group of peaks looks much like a mighty forest with quiet grottos hidden deep underground. Dali's landmark are its 3 pagodas. The biggest one is over 1,000 years old, and the smallest one was built 900 years ago. The ancient city of Dali was an important political, economic, and cultural center for centuries. Located at the famous Southern Silk Road, also called the Tea Road, Dali was the gateway on the crossroads of trade with Southeast Asia and India. The layout of the city resembles a chessboard. A special ritual is performed when the building of a new house has reached a certain stage on an auspicious day of the lunar calendar. The workers assemble and pray that good fortune will bless the new home. Legend has it that a famous sculptor during a private audience with the emperor secretly sketched the image of the emperor on the sleeve of his coat. Later, he surprised the emperor with a sculpture of the emperor's exact likeness. The emperor was so pleased with the gift that he richly rewarded the sculptor. The people of Dali are fond of flowers. Every house has a courtyard blossoming with flowers all year round. Each February, on a special day of the lunar calendar, Dali celebrates its flower festival. In its never-ending search for guidance and enlightenment, Western society increasingly turns away from Christianity, seeking its salvation in the ancient religions of the East. The religious and philosophical teachings of Buddha, Lao Tse, and Confucius have been blended together by the Western society, promising the stressed out and confused Western mind the pleasant nirvana of Zen. This fusion of age-old wisdom invites the Western society on an attractive spiritual journey to attain the peace of mind they seem to be unable to find in the traditional teachings of Christianity. However, the timeless enchantment of devoted rituals and mystic teachings, as they are being practiced in front of pure jade or golden Buddha statues in century-old temples on mountaintops, high above the clouds or hidden away in lush green valleys of China, can only bring true salvation to those who deeply appreciate a culture which has created these beliefs. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Dali, the emperor was struck by an incurable disease. In order to save his life, one of his 3 daughters had to sacrifice her left arm. Only the youngest one was willing to do her filial duty, and by giving her arm, she saved her father. In recognition for her sacrifice, the gods blessed her with 100 arms and eyes, and she became the goddess of mercy. This centuries-old mural depicts the glorious imperial past of Dali. Recently, a world-famous Chinese wood carver recreated it in mahogany. Wood carvings are a much revered art form in China. Elaborate carvings decorate temples, houses, and furniture, creating masterpieces of timeless beauty. Dali marble has an age-old marble mining history. The marble is richly patterned and colored. Its texture is refined and comes in a great variety with a strong anti-corrosive quality. The Bai people of Dali maintain a touching tradition. In order to show respect and affection for her family, a bride has to cry bitterly on her wedding day. If a bride is unable to shed tears, her bridesmaids will use a pepper lotion to make her cry. It is also believed that the pepper lotion will strengthen the bride's character. The bridegroom has to carry the bride on his back to their new home without stopping for a rest. Otherwise, the bride and her family will lose face, and the bridegroom will be considered unfit for marriage. Once the newlyweds have entered their home, they struggle to reach the bedroom first to grab a pillow. The one who grabs the pillow first will be considered the ruler of the house. By tradition, the bride's family have to bring all her belongings to the newlyweds' future home.
It is already
The arts and crafts of its many talented artisans are Yunnan's rich heritage. Yunnan arts and crafts have a high collector's value and attract buyers from all over the world. Silversmiths and metalworkers are creating beautifully ornamented pieces using time-honored techniques. No one can imagine that these two blocks of jade will become beautiful works of art. Carving of ivory and jade is characterized by its distinct style of simplicity and gracefulness in designing human figures such as disciples of Buddha and mythical animals. Jade bracelets are much treasured and are handed down from one generation to the next as good luck charm heirlooms. Porcelain is a famous invention of the Chinese. 8,000 years ago, the Chinese began making earthenware with clay. Celadon and white porcelain are well known all over the world. Porcelain making reached its peak during the Ming and Qing dynasties from the 14th to the 20th centuries. Yunnan is best known for its pottery. China is the foremost producer of silk in the world. Silk production was started about 4,500 years ago. Silkworms are delicate creatures and feed only on mulberry leaves. Silk production is a complicated procedure and for millennia was a well-kept secret of ancient China. Following ancient instructions, women weave on age-old looms the colorful fabrics of silk, cotton, wool, firegrass, and hemp with their intricate patterns. Every tribe has its own traditional style of embroidery and design. To achieve the vibrant colors, natural dyes are used, such as indigo. At international fashion shows, beautiful models feature a kaleidoscope of exquisitely handmade Yunnan textiles. For these colorful umbrellas, cherished by ladies all over China, a special paper is needed. These beautiful hand-painted umbrellas are true pieces of art and were originally invented in China. The world-famous Chinese art of calligraphy also requires a special paper using time-honored production methods passed down from generation to generation. Paper and paper money were originally invented in China. There are different ways to produce paper. The process begins by dipping rectangular trays into pools with pulp. As the trays are shaken, a thin layer of fiber settles. Gradually, the layers thicken and mesh together. Then these layers are carefully pulled off the trays and left to slowly dry. It is important to start from a specific angle to pull off the delicate paper. In ancient China, paper was mainly made with hemp. Today, bamboo is the primary component. Buddhist monks do not use paper, but engrave their sacred scriptures in Sanskrit on palm leaves, which are especially prepared to last forever. On the northwestern highlands of Yunnan, the Meili Snow Mountain rises above a sea of jagged ridges. Here in the hidden valleys, the spiritual life of the Tibetans is preserved in all its timeless magic. Lamaism is a form of Buddhism intermingled with an indigenous Tibetan religion known as Bon. Lamaism created its own system of leadership in which the ruling spirits are persons designated as living Buddhas. Such persons are believed to be reincarnations of deceased living Buddhas. 1 year after the death of a previous living Buddha, senior monks start a search for a soul boy, one into whom the soul of the previous living Buddha has settled. The process of selection and control is secret and remains in the hands of a select council of senior monks. One of their members acts as regent until the boy reaches an age when he can be elevated in a grand ceremony to the position of a living Buddha. All over Yunnan, enlightened men practice the Chinese art of natural healing and herbal medicine. It has a long history, unique characteristics, and a remarkable effect on complicated and difficult cases of illness. These healers, in elaborate surroundings or just simple country doctors, derive their wisdom from written instructions handed down from one healer to the next. Accordingly, any illness has internal and external causes. The internal cause is the imbalance between essential elements of the human body, each of them having its physiological function. Normally, these elements keep a coordinated and balanced relationship. If sometimes one is stronger or weaker than the other, illness occurs. The external cause might be climatic conditions, improper lifestyle or food, and injuries. Acupuncture relieves pain by puncturing certain points of the body with different types of needles. Acupressure uses only the fingers to work certain pressure points. For thousands of years, acupuncture and moxibustion therapies have been popular modalities of preventing and treating diseases. In hot springs, blood circulation is improved with ancient modalities such as moxibustion. The abundance of water is being used in many ways, not only for the irrigation of terraced rice fields, shrouded in the morning mist. They resemble silver staircases running from 2,000 meters straight down to the ravines. Ingenious ancient water systems powering grain and sawmills are regulating the raging rivers and taming their waters to serve mankind. Turned here for eternity and are part of the harmony between man and nature. Many assume that tea originated in India or Ceylon, Sri Lanka as it is now called. But the giant pua tea trees in the south of Yunnan prove them wrong. Some of these trees are over 1,700 years old. Yunnan produces pua tea, also called longevity tea, which is cherished by tea lovers all over the world. Aged pua tea, sometimes more than a century old, is a high-priced delicacy, much like fine cognac or vintage wines. Green tea is the oldest and most popular tea in China. Steaming, frying, and sun-drying green tea reduces the moisture in the fresh tea leaves and brings out their fragrance. Black tea needs fermentation when you heap tea leaves together for more than 24 hours. Jasmine tea is a mixture of dried tea leaves and jasmine blossoms. Oolong tea is half-fermented tea, which has been successfully marketed as a drink that keeps people fit and slim. Tea is rich in vitamin C, with green tea containing 5 to 6 times more vitamin C than black tea. It is important to note that the water for tea leaves should not be too hot. When it is over 80 degrees, the vitamin C in the tea leaves is destroyed. In general, tea is believed to stimulate the immune system. French missionaries introduced the art of winemaking to Yunnan several centuries ago. Now Yunnan produces excellent award-winning vintages. The art of rice wine making, its methods dating back thousands of years, is being done in several different ways by various tribes. There is a saying in Yunnan, if there is rice on the fields and fish in the water, life is good. Indeed, there is plenty of fish in the water and there are many different ways to catch them. Fishing with trained cormorants is an age-old practice. The brave birds obediently dive relentlessly and deliver the fish to their master. trapping the delicious sweetwater eels in the rice fields is another daily task for the women. A native wood, when mashed, exudes a mild poison, momentarily stunning the fish and making them an easy catch. This bamboo stem contains worms, which, if slightly roasted, taste delicious and are very nutritious. This is a clever way to locate a beehive hidden somewhere in the wilderness. A bee is caught and a white feather attached to it. Then the bee is let go and followed on its way back to the queen. Once the hive is discovered, the honeycombs are easily removed. Another way is to stun and scare off the bees with flaming torches and then retrieve the honeycombs. The bee larvae are an invigorating delicacy much treasured by the elders of the tribe. White ant larvae are another delicacy. There is a saying in Yunnan, everything green can be eaten. Indeed, there are some delicious plants out there which make a great meal. The Chinese cuisine is universally recognized as one of the great cuisines of the world. Its variety and complexity are unique. There are 4 distinct regional cuisines in China. Sichuan cuisine is well known for its spicy and pungent flavoring. Shandong cuisine is famous for its seafood dishes. Guangdong cuisine is lightly seasoned. Jiangsu Zhejiang cuisine is characteristically sweet. The 2 most famous Chinese dishes are Beijing roast duck and beggar's chicken, which is a chicken wrapped in lotus leaves and roasted in a clay cover. There are many auspicious traditional festivals in China. Each region has its own special festivals. Different rituals and dances are performed as the people of Yunnan pray for bountiful harvests and good luck. The most important festival of all is the Spring Festival, or the Lunar New Year, which falls on the first day of the first month of the Chinese lunar calendar. It is usually about a month later than the Gregorian calendar. This most jubilant and colorful of traditional festivals is as important to the Chinese as Christmas is for Westerners. On New Year's Eve, families gather for the reunion dinner. It is time for all family members living at home or far away from home to get together. For the young, it is the day to express their gratitude and appreciation to their parents and grandparents. The families stay up late. Lamps are lit throughout the dark of night. Fireworks are set off at midnight, and people bid farewell to the old year and usher in the new year. On the first day of the new year, the Chinese pay ritual homage to their ancestors, offer sacrifice, burn joss sticks and candles in front of the memorial tablets of their ancestors. During the Spring Festival, the elders in the family give red envelopes with cash for good luck to the young. The Spring Festival is both jubilant and solemn. There are many traditional taboos during the holiday. On the first day of the new year, married daughters are not allowed to return to their parents' home. Children are forbidden to cry or make noise. One should not use unlucky words. Neighbors should not quarrel. No tools or utensils should be broken. No call should be made to the doctor, and no porridge should be served. From the first to the 4th day of the new year, people should not use scissors or brooms. But on the 5th day, all these taboos expire. Thus it is called the lifting of the 5-day ban. The Spring Festival lasts until the 15th day of the first lunar month. It ends with the Lantern Festival, which is a homage to Buddha. This is a colorful and picture-perfect event with hundreds of lanterns all over. Delicious rice cakes with sweet stuffing are served. The Mid-Autumn Festival falls on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month. On that night, the moon is supposed to be brighter and fuller than any other night. The full moon is a symbol of family reunion. This day is also known as Reunion Day. The moon is considered a symbol of brightness, purity, and goodness. Poets wrote many beautiful poems about the moon. Not only has the moon been an inspiration to writers, but it is also the source of many myths and legends. Tireless dancers twirl around as the fireworks continue to explode in the midnight sky. Firecrackers and gunpowder were originally invented in China. Yunnan is a never-ending kaleidoscope of vibrant color, its energy is inspiring and invigorating. In the south of Yunnan, the water splashing ritual is a favorite of young and old. The Dragon Boat Festival is to commemorate a famous Chinese poet. In his book, which for over 700 years has never been out of print, Marco Polo mentions Kunming as the capital of Yunnan. The city of eternal spring enjoys the best climate in China and has over 6 million residents. Drawing from its rich history, Kunming is rapidly evolving into a modern capital but remains firmly rooted in its time-honored tradition. Its old town teems with strollers checking out the many exotic goods vendors offer. Some of the old buildings have been declared national landmarks and are being restored to their former splendor. Old-fashioned cricket fighting is still practiced in one of the popular tea houses, with its feisty matron calling the shots. Arts and crafts are everywhere. Chinese love their birds, and here you can buy, sell, and admire these precious pets. Somewhere, hidden in an alley, the ancient art of the shadow play is still practiced to the delight of kids. Because of sanitary conditions, the picturesque old town is being demolished to make way for a new development, which will incorporate the old and the new. As China continues to be a global force, it is doing everything to preserve the diversity of its epic culture. China, also called the Middle Kingdom, was once the cradle of civilization. It remains to be seen if the remnants of China's rich cultural heritage will survive the onslaught of the 21st century.